The first category is looks, someone's physical appearance. We look at hygiene, whether or not someone is well groomed. If you look and smell like you haven't showered in weeks, your perceived value will be much lower. Go take a shower, get a haircut, do your laundry, clip your nails, and take care of yourself, because if you look like you can't even take care of yourself, you'll look like someone who can't help take care of others. We look at physical attractiveness, which can be broken down into two parts. The first are indicators of health. If you're extremely overweight, if you look sick, if you look extremely tired, your perceived value is lower. This is because you look like someone that will drag down the group. Hit the gym, fix your diet, and get proper sleep. The second type of physical attractiveness that we look for are good genetics, which means you can produce healthy offspring. This has value because the only way we can continue the human race is by producing offspring that survive into adulthood. This is a touchy subject because many of these things are impossible to change. You can't really change things like your height or the symmetry of your face, but the good news is that these factors are only a part of the puzzle. If you focus on everything else that can increase your value, you can still become someone of very, very high value. For example, it's possible to get wider shoulders and increase muscle mass by going to the gym. You can also use fashion to your advantage, which is the final thing that we look for in regards to looks. The objects and clothing that you wear can complement the features of your body. The next category of things we look for in order to determine someone's value is status. Essentially, how much power they have. We look for indicators of wealth. Money is literally a piece of paper that has an assigned value. You can trade that paper for food. You can trade that paper for a house. This is why people like to talk about money as an indicator of success, because the more money you make, the more valuable you technically are. However, it's not like you can just pull out your bank statement and show that to everyone you meet. Wealth is something that is best subtly conveyed. Fashion plays a big role. Things like jewelry and watches, but also how generous you are all indicators of wealth. But it's important to note that wealth is something that is valued much more in developing countries as compared to modern ones. For example, in New York City, you won't be impressing anyone by wearing a fancy watch and flashing a couple hundreds. In fact, people will most likely roll their eyes at you. But in a developing country, that's a whole nother story. Either way, it's still important to have your finances intact, because if you're dirt broke, you won't be able to bring anything to the table. Instead, you'd be forced to become a taker of value, someone who needs the help of others to survive. People who can only take are immediately seen as low value.